class Muay Thai fighter. He asked me questions about fighters with long reach, some strategies, how to maintain it. Boxing is not that hard. Anybody that tries to sound too smart and overcomplicated is a charlatan. Boxing is first of all about leverage, balance. If you have no balance, you have no leverage. You obviously have nothing. Even for a big man, obviously, he starts from the ground up, and he has to have that to relax for a second. And it's mostly about distance, particularly with a long, tall fighter. So I'm gonna make this as simplistic as I possibly can, because simplicity is bliss, and that's truth anyways. So you watch any great trainer becomes a great trainer because they're a student. They immerse themselves in a lot of film study. Freddie's a great teacher just because he had Eddie Fudge, but he also studies a lot of films. Just watch great fighters. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of great trainers around anymore, but you can still become a great student and understand the truth just by watching guys like Larry Holmes. You watch Vladimir Klitschko, class him aside, he's good at maintaining distance, and when a fighter comes inside, he pushes down on him and weighs on him for a reason. Because I'm shorter, obviously, 6'7". This is my strength. This is his weakness, obviously, common sense. This is his strength. This is my weakness. He wants me always on the outside of here. As soon as I come in here, a good long fighter should have great footwork. Because as soon as I start to come in here, he can move right back. Juan Manuel Marquez said it best too. It's not just about it's not about a battle of hands. It's about a battle of feet and foot position. That's what orthodox fighters versus southpaws. The long fighters versus a shorter, stockier fighter like me, like a boxing head. I'm not standing on the outside. I'm gonna keep moving my head. When he jabs me, come inside. With him, as soon as I come forward, he's anticipating that movement on his toes and moving back into the side. He dare not keep going back. I'm just going to go for a straight line on him. But he's going to keep turning me like that. That's what big long fighters will do. Now, he has no experience here, but I'm using him because he's built like a Klitschko as far as height-wise. He's a great example. Just watch a good fighter like Larry Holmes, how he was Freddie says what's lacking today in a lot of fighters is ring generalship. It's the most important thing Eddie Fudge taught him. He watched Larry Holmes champion for 8 years because he displayed phenomenal ring generalship, used what he had well. He had good feet. Here's a fighter that was tall, long, but was not very good because he had no feet. He had no balance. He was a journeyman in the 90s. His last name was White. Dude was like fucking almost 7 foot. Was a journeyman. He got knocked out because he didn't have the footwork to maintain his distance. So he was a big, tall dude. Guys would just come in there and chop him down, go to the body, and that's why he doesn't want me to get in the inside. Because as soon as I get in the inside, I'm gonna chop him down like a tree. And if I'm chopping his torso down, stand right here for a second. If I'm chopping his torso down, what do you think he's gonna? He's not gonna do that. Put your hands up. He's gonna have to get lower. If he gets lower, guess where that head is? Boom, it's right there. But if he stays on the outside there, right, and uses his footwork, as soon as I keep coming, he keeps turning. Some illegal shit too you can do, but not really illegal. Some crafty stuff that if you watch George Foreman versus Joe Frazier, he knocked him out, he lifted him off the mat. Before he did that, Foreman's team did a phenomenal job of diffusing the short, stocky Joe Frazier's strengths of bobbing and weaving his way in. Obviously, that was Joe's plan. George was taller and big, about 6'5", big dude. So Frazier obviously the plan was to smother George and work his body and bang him and stay inside that reach. So he's George Foreman and I'm Joe Frazier. When I'm coming in, like when I came in like this, you get up. So he's coming in, George would turn him. As soon as he came in this way, he would turn him like that and just right on the outside. He did that so he can maintain his distance. That's when he hurt him. Then we picked him up, that uppercut in the inside. He could because he was already hurt. Then he could come inside. Then he picked him up. But I thought that was genius, and I was very crafty because literally he was just spinning Joe around for a little bit and it kept Joe off balance and it never kept him in rhythm. You know what I mean? So that was a crafty thing to do. And why did George do that again? Every time so Joe would come, boom, put his glove on his shoulder. As soon as George, really, it wasn't that rough. Say George Frazier's in front of me. As soon as he got right here, he put his hand on his shoulder and he turned him. Knocked Joe off balance. And there was George with maintaining distance. So that's how you do it. And you watch Vernon Forrest when he fought Shane Mosley. Prime example, Vernon Forrest was a phenomenal, one of the smoothest combination punches I ever seen accurate. Shane Mosley was never hurt prior to that. He dropped him, never been dropped. He shot an uppercut. Shane's hit from right there. Yeah, throw it, not hard. Boom. Boom. Right there. Throw a little harder. Boom, right there. From out there. So you can throw it from out there. But he set that up. I believe he set that. It was a right uppercut. No, it was a left uppercut. I believe he set it up with the right hand. Then he came with that left uppercut. So an uppercut, for me, I can't throw it out here. I got to work my way in. But for a long guy, you obviously can throw it out there when you set it up. When you set it up with the lead right hand, you come with an uppercut. Or when Buster Douglas, shot the world, beat Mike Tyson. Remember how he was jabbing? He came with that right uppercut. He's long. He was a boxer. He gave him problems because he's floating around every time Mike would come in. Buster would maintain his distance too with his feet. Just because you have long, you're long and you're tall and you have long arms, you got no your freaking feet. You got nothing. So you got to be able to move. My friend asked is even body work. For me, it's inside, but for him, I'm standing here. Get to your stance. He can throw a hook when I'm standing right here. If I would try to come in, he can move away. So for a long fighter, he can jab the shit on me like Holmes did, step over, bam. That's the luxury of having long arms. It's because you can land those shots. The uppercut is a dangerous shot to land. But if it's properly set up, particularly for a long lanky fighter, Vernon Forrest proved it against Shane Mosley, who was the pound-for-pound best fighter at the time. He dropped him with that because he never suspected that coming from that distance. So it is a good. You watch fighters like that and fights like that, you can see how you use that certain punch like that. Jerome McClellan was a great middleweight fighter, and he had long, lanky arms too, and he would always time fighters out from the distance. He wasn't always inside of them. He'd be on the outside, throw a slow right hand. He would time that right hand out, boom! But he wasn't in here when he threw it. So for a long guy, boom, you wait for that punch to come, bam. You can step over, bam. Again, it's all with the feet. So for my friend, it's all about the feet. Without feet, height, reach, shit. With feet, height, and reach, this is my strength if I'm tall and long. If he's short, I'm short and stopping, this is his weakness, this is my strength. Again, that's his strength, this is my weakness. Feet, maintain that, and set up all the punches here, or wherever. So I hope this video helps. And if you like it, if you dig it, give it a like. Thank you very much for watching.